You like Father Ted, don't you? So how do you feel about being mentioned in Father Ted last week? Did you see that?
That was quite a stunner. I didn't see it that night. I'm a devotee, but I had some people around for dinner and didn't get an opportunity to see it. And then a friend called up and said, you know, you've got this mensch on Father Ted.
Yeah.
And I was quite ecstatic until I actually saw the clip and saw that I didn't get a laugh. Also, I realised that the whole nature of the gag is that he's the sort of person who would go out of his way to find out my name so he could drop it to Father Dougal. I mean, what could be more pathetic, you know? So, in as much as it was flattering, it was also humbling, you know.
Sure, yeah. Okay. Now, you told me a bit about your background before. Your father was town planning officer or something?
No, much more exalted than
Sorry,
that.
He was
Professor of Public Administration, the LSE, but he also ran something called the Town and Country Planning Association, which was a pressure group on, still is, on regional and urban development.
Okay. Have your parents influenced your writing?
Well, in as much as anybody's life does, yes. I mean, a lot of my father's academic satire is obviously based on growing up in an academic household and seeing it very closely. And my mother was married to an academic before my father as well. Right. My mother was the one who really sort of encouraged me to write, though, pushed me to write.
Yeah.
And was, you know, obsessed by it.
Sure. Okay. How difficult was it to get the first novel off the ground, The Quantum Theory of Insanity?
Well, not difficult at all. I gave it to an ex-girlfriend of mine, Penny Phillips, who's still an editor at Bloomsbury. I gave it to her in 1990.
Okay.
And it was accepted for publication.
Sure, okay.
For the princely sum of £1,700.
So it's a bit more now, I imagine?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, right. What kind of... does anything specific in your background motivate your writing, or is it...
I think well, I mean, there's always the old sawhorse of an unhappy childhood. I'm not sure it's that, but certainly I think a sense of a sense of quite acute isolation is useful for a writer, because you need to be quite decoupled in that way.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I always find that one an odd one, because I did come from such an obsessively bookish background that in a way it was like, you know, you never ask a guy who's a plumber, whose dad was a plumber, why he got into the plumbing business, you know. I mean, they weren't quite writers, but there was an incredible amount of books around, and, you know, it was very much something that was encouraged.
Do you enjoy publicity? Do you enjoy doing what you just did then?
I enjoy reading at the time of reading, if it's going well. The great problem with public reading, which I think, I mean, authors understand it, perhaps daren't articulate it to themselves, is that unless you can suspend disbelief in your own material at the time of reading it, nobody else will believe it. So you have to pour enormous amounts of conviction into your delivery, which is actually very hard.
What are you working on at the moment? Are you working on a new series of stories, or a novel, or anything?
I'm just beginning to start work on a novel. I mean, it's very tentative. I've got to research the whole thing.
What do you think of the way? I mean, do you listen to the critics? Do you listen to what people say to you in the media at all?
I mean, you obviously, if you read it or you hear it, then you respond to it. But you know, my great good fortune has been that it doesn't affect me at the level of my creative sensibility. It might affect me personally, but that's somehow different, you know.
What about all this business about, you know, the Tory party, you know, in the plane and all that stuff? I mean, how do you think all that was treated and stuff? Has that left you feeling a bit pissed off about everything, or
well,
flash in the pan and all that?
No, I mean, it's inevitably quite a life-changing experience when your personal life and apparently political events sort of become tangled in that way. But so it's a bit of a blooding in that way. You're welcome to come in and have a quick drink if you like.
Is that all right? Okay, brilliant. Okay, right. No, haven't you
trade notes?
So, right. What really pisses you off?
Well, you know, the same sort of things that piss everybody off, I suppose. I mean, what do you mean piss off in terms of being angry or so?
Well, what do you feel passionately about?
Well, I feel passionately about anarchism. I feel passionately about
the way, cheers, the way in which, as I get older, I see people completely unnecessarily bending the knee and capitulating to vested control systems and bogus authorities. And then because they've done it, perpetrating it on everybody else because they feel internally humiliated. I think that's how power, by and large, works politically. And that really, as Mad Frankie Fraser would say, gets me mad as a lorry. You know, I really hate that. I hate it more as I get older. I thought I'd grow out of my anarchism, but in fact
You're supposed to grow out of it, aren't you?
Yeah, now I've grown much further into it.
Do you mentioned Mad Frankie, and do you kind of, do you hold these people, these anti-heroes up as somehow kind of role models in a way, or not?
No, not Mad Frankie Fraser. I despise him.
Yeah, good.
He's a torturer and an evil man, as we all know. No, I don't. I mean, you know, these things are so complex. You know, the way the world treats you is to fit you into a cookie-cutter shape that they can assimilate. So, you know, you become this drug debauchee or whatever because you know, happen to be honest about your drug intake and not a hypocrite. You know, it's you know, I can't even engage in that debate anymore. I think it's so sort of stupid and facile and conducted on wrong terms. I mean, it depends what you call an anti-hero. I think that there are. I'm not big on it. I mean, I'm not big on those sort of conventional anti-heroes. No. I mean, I don't. You know, I like Burroughs' writing. I don't think I would have liked him personally. It's like, you know, he loved guns and hated women, and I'm exactly the opposite. So, you know, I don't think we would have got on. You know.
Do you see yourself? I mean, when I talked to you last time, I kind of mentioned Roald Dahl and how some of your stuff reminded me of Roald Dahl. Do you think there's any? Would that be fair to say that there is some link there in a way, although you perhaps?
I think he likes in those collections like Kiss Kiss and stuff. He likes sort of similar kinds of twisty endings and conceits, but beyond that, I don't think it's great. I mean, perhaps also, I suppose, in the sense of writing out the anima and the irrational. I mean, he did it largely in his children's stories, but he certainly was writing about the darkness of the edge of the sun in that way. And I suppose I do something similar in a way. But beyond that, no, not a great deal of kinship there.
Who do you rate as good short story novelists?
Good short story writers who are novelists.
O. Henry and
Chekhov, Saki, I mean, Joyce. You know, all of the obvious ones, Scott Fitzgerald, you know. Chekhov, though, was, in terms of the writer who really excited me about short stories particularly, was Chekhov. I mean, that's where I saw that it was a form that was beautiful in and of itself.
I don't know if you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but you talked about politics a moment ago, and kind of what is your political persuasion at the moment?
Well, it's anti-politicians, pretty much.
Just generally?
Yeah, I think because the state as currently constructed, the Constitution, is in fact, does not adequately reflect or present a mechanism for translating the will of the people in any meaningful sense into public policy, that the entire regime is bogus. I mean, you see this particularly with somebody like Blair, who's gained power under an election system in which he's received a minority of the vote, and you know, behaves like fucking Lord Muck, you know.
So, I mean, you say you're a rebel, but do you...
I know, I didn't say I was a rebel.
No, and no, all right, an anarchist or whatever, but do you see any way of changing that system then, or are you just kind of happy to...
Well, I certainly, I don't have a strong prescriptive note in my writing somewhere about, but I certainly think that any kind of writing that encourages people to liberate themselves from vested control systems, and a lot of my satire is directed as much against what Thomas Zage, the anti-psychiatrist, calls the therapeutic state, as it is against the military-industrial complex or the commanding heights of the economy. So Yeah, I mean, I think if people are encouraged to think for themselves by my work, then I would regard that as a positive influence and to distance themselves from ideology. Yeah.
Like control system would be politics, religion, to a certain extent upbringing and family and all this sort of everything. Because I mean, in a way, none of it. How does any of us get away from any kind of control systems apart from being on an island somewhere?
Well, you don't get away from any control systems, but at some point in life, all of us broker odd accommodations with various internal and external control systems. And I believe a lot of those accommodations we shouldn't broker, we should resist. I mean, particularly we should resist. I mean, you know, Mark, you're a lot smarter than Tony Blair. You know, why should you be governed by a man who's stupider than you?
But then you would say that no politicians were, that they're all the same, so it doesn't really matter, you might as well get somebody who...
No, I don't think they're all the same. I mean, I voted Labour, I wanted the Tories out as much as anything else.
But not for Blair, you didn't vote, you would have preferred not to have had Blair.
I would have preferred not to have had to vote for Blair, and in retrospect, I even slightly regret voting for them at all. You know. Even though I come from a socialist background, it's almost unthinkable of me not to vote Labour. But I mean, the word socialism doesn't really go along with Labour much.
What exactly is your upbringing? I don't know. Where were you?
Very middle class, brought up in Hempstead suburb of North London. That was an academic. My parents were a lot older. My dad's still alive, he's 80. Lives in Australia, has done for the last 20 years. My mother died about 10 years ago. And it was the second marriage for both of them. It was rather an odd house. They were sort of quite bohemian. In an odd way, not in a sort of... They were sort of... Yeah, they were sort of oddly bohemian, but it's kind of hard, I mean, they didn't stand around at cafe-deckers or anything, it's kind of hard to think or
so charming and eccentric.
My father was quite eccentric, yeah. Well, they're both quite eccentric.
Yeah. Could you have seen yourself doing anything else other than what you're doing now?
Well, you know, because I got so heavily embroiled in... I wanted to be a philosopher originally. I went up to Oxford to read philosophy. I was very, very interested in philosophy. I wanted to write a thesis on epistemology. But fucked up on drugs and was busted in my final year at Oxford. And got in trouble with the authorities. And so ended slightly on a scrap heap. And then I really didn't think I'd do anything. I mean, I really had a sort of deathly period in the early 80s. I mean, I did cartoons. I started drawing cartoons for the Statesman about 82, and I did a strip for them for 2 years, used to talk about City Limits. But I didn't really think I was ever going to achieve anything, and I was very frustrated because I couldn't write. And then after I cleaned up from drugs in the mid-80s from heroin, I started working, I started running a little company that produced industrial sort of business magazines. And I sort of taught myself to do all of that, magazine production and publishing. And that kind of, as well as being office man, got me on the straight and narrow. I started writing my first book there. Especially having my mother dying and having my first child, I mean, they're great incentives to getting me working. You know, on the one hand, my mother was always a very hypercritical presence in my life. When they're dead, I felt quite liberated there. And when my first son was born, I felt, I'm about to be genetically superseded. I'm going to move on and write something.
Yeah, sure.
So they were great drives to write. You know.
How many children have you got then?
3.
Really? Okay. And you're still able to kind of happily juggle the family life and writing and stuff?
Well...
Or juggle, anyway, if not happily.
I never talk about my family life in interviews.
That's fine, okay.
But I also find people who... There's a I mean, there's one of the stories in the new collection that satirizes this called care and sharing, but I think people... You know, with a declining birth rate, there's idiocy on all sides. The childless promote themselves as eternal teenagers, you know. I mean, it staggers me, it's what pisses me off, it staggers me to see my generation still behaving like they did in their early 20s by and large, a lot of the time, in terms of attitudes and tastes and, you know, the sort of incredible sense of cultural history that's foreshortened as the bottom of a bubble car. And by the same token, I think there's an awful lot of sort of mawkishness and kind of moralising from people who do have children, you know, so it's sort of, I don't really want to add to it.
Okay, probably the last question then. All this rubbish about Cool Britannia and stuff. I mean, what do you make of it all? Is it just like Millennium Fever, just crazy?
Well, it's much more like the early Wilson years, isn't it? And doing the Beatles and MBE. And all that sort of stuff. I think it's obviously it's a mixture of things. There's a bit of millenarianism there. There's a bit of Blair's spin and Campbell and Nelson to sort of schmozzle together. And what there is an awful lot of is what the British economy is really known for, which is a demand-led boom that will shortly be pulled up by roaring inflation, you know, empty order books. And then Cool Britannia will turn into good old dismal grey, unemployed, fucked up Britannia that we all know so well.
So is that like
and he'll be left looking like a fatty-head jerk for years.
Do you think he'll survive next?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, he's not clever enough.
He's not
clever enough.
No. But Mandelson surely is the one who's
but
pulling the strings, isn't he?
You want to turn the tape off?